everybody. Bring your good vibes to today's show because this is going to be a show about manifesting luck. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the PHNX Coyotes podcast. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a 5-star review. I'm Leah here with Craig and Petey. How you guys doing today?
Wondering when we'll see that card pulled.
And Sean behind the Mac.
Yeah,
And Sean.
I'm trying to temper my expectations going into this lottery. I'm very concerned, Leah. So, as you said, whatever that good luck charm is, please find it, bring it, manifest it.
I have thoughts on that, actually. You guys may have noticed that the Coyotes announced they're doing a draft lottery party
Yes.
in Tempe at a bar. Do you know the name of the bar? Have you been there before?
No, I haven't.
Okay, 640.
I've never
just
heard of
discovered
it.
it
It's
today.
in Tempe, which...
It's on 6th, right off a mill. I stopped by today.
Oh.
They probably thought I was like, I don't know,
Because what time did you
doing
stop by?
some
Like 9:30?
recon on the place before it was open. They're probably wondering what the heck I'm doing, like planning something bad.
Yeah.
But I was actually just looking at the entrance because I have an idea. And we obviously have to talk to the management of the bar first.
This is us talking to you. So take
Well,
notes.
I'll get to that. I'll get to that eventually. I was thinking people could bring their good luck charms and place them like out in front, like a makeshift instead of a memorial.
Yeah.
Could end up being a memorial.
Oh, God.
But it could be a makeshift good luck wall. I wouldn't get carried away with these things. Like I wouldn't bring some like giant stuffed animal that's going to take up a lot of space. But they actually have a really good area for this. So throwing that out there for you guys to think about. Obviously, we have to get it okayed with the bar. Hopefully the Coyotes would be cool with it. God
Like,
knows
what's
they
that?
need some good luck in the lottery. But if it all plays out, we'll let you know.
All right. I love that idea.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing this.
I'm not saying no to anything.
Yeah.
Like if anybody's got any ideas on any way to manifest this into reality, I'm in. Like if that's going to help, even just the tiniest of ways, would have been a lot easier to lose 10 more games than it would be to manifest luck. But that's a whole. Because if you are last right now,
You're feeling good?
you're fine.
Yeah.
We're fine.
I got one of the top 3
We're
picks.
fine. We're fine
Good.
with any of the top 5.
Yeah.
We're fine. Now
Yeah.
we're sorry.
6th.
I didn't start that already.
Um,
Yay.
Well, let's start with this one for the good vibes. Hey, Petey, said Giordino. I went on a date with a girl from Minnesota the other day who said oofta.
She did not.
And I told her I knew that meant because of you and the
See?
PHNX Coyotes crew.
So that's just another thing that I've been able to help people with in their dating life. And I would think if you need dating advice and relationship advice, wouldn't you come to me first? Wouldn't I be the guy to help steer you down the right path?
100%.
That is great news, Giordino.
Roaring Fork said Leah can put her lucky umbrella out in the front. I think it is lucky. I do think so. It came back to me. Maybe? Lucky? No? Somebody also...
I'm not sure about that.
Somebody
We'd have to-
tweeted at me last night and
Installed by
said,
a creeper, so.
you should like bet or like cheer against the Coyotes getting first overall because every pick in the playoffs has gone the opposite way. So maybe some like reverse magic. I don't know. I'm willing to try whatever it takes. And we're going to talk about it all today. Preview Monday's lottery because we are just 4 days away from the first of 2 massively important dates in May for this organization.
That came quick.
It did. It came up very quickly. And we're going to kind of talk about the Coyotes lottery luck. We'll talk about the rules. We'll talk about what's happened in the lottery in the past. And then we'll make some predictions of our own, run a couple tankathons because the Discord has been on fire with them lately. So I figured we can run 10, kind of a, like, we'll see if the Coyotes can win 1 out of the 10. That would line up somewhere with their odds. But we'll see. So that's what's on tap for today. And I think we'll get all the negativity out of the way by starting out with the Coyotes' icky draft lottery history. Craig, you just wrote a story on this at gophnx.com. Can you kind of paint a picture of what has happened over the last 25 years?
Bad things.
I was going to say, not a masterpiece.
Bad things. A lot of bad things. And listen, you look at the odds, the percentages of them landing the first pick, you're like, well, I mean, you don't have a good chance, but somehow other teams managed to get the first overall pick. Sometimes twice, Sean, if you know what I'm talking about.
I was gonna say, I know. I'll have to clear this with the boss first. I might have to wear my Sabres jersey on Monday just to bring the
Honestly,
vibe.
sure.
Okay, if that helps.
If it helps. Again, anything that helps.
Anything.
Chicago in 2007 jumps from, and by the way, when the lottery rules were only 5 teams are eligible to get the first overall pick, the Blackhawks were 5th, and they jumped and got Patrick Kane. Who'd the Coyotes get? Yeah, Kyle Turris. It worked out well. Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers, who won the draft lottery for the 4th time in 6 seasons that year. So they actually made a damn rule to change it so you couldn't do that anymore because it was so ridiculous that the Oilers kept winning and somehow, for the longest time, fucking it up with bad picks and not winning. And anyway, now they've got Connor McDavid. There's so many examples of this with the Coyotes. I think we have graphics. I know we do.
We do.
Sean built them. Just showing you, and I had some of this in my story, but
the Coyotes'
it
lousy
just doesn't
history.
matter. Like, they never move up. Like, the one time they move up was when a team was penalized for circumventing the cap. But they have dropped down about half the time, which, again, we talked about this yesterday. Like, the odds are greater of you dropping a spot than standing pat, which makes 0 sense. But they've never moved up. They have never moved up in the lottery. A lot of teams have had success. There are a few teams out there that haven't, but the Coyotes' lottery luck sucks.
It does.
Is that? But you keep thinking, and it's like keep banging your head against the wall. Eventually, it's going to turn out for you. We think again this year, and this year now. The difference this year is we're hoping the hockey gods agree with the Andre Tourigny, Bill Armstrong model of, hey, we're going to try to get last, but we're not going to get last because we're going to end up being better than we thought. Instead of we're going to trade everybody away and be horrifically bad and barely put together an NHL team, which they've tried, and they went backwards. Now, this time they actually won games, so maybe they'll move forward. Maybe because if I see, and I know it can't be the Edmonton Oilers again, but when you see the Edmonton Oilers win 4 times in 6 years, it is beyond frustrating.
Yeah.
It is beyond, and it's hard. I know they're not rigged, and I know it's just math and all that, whatever.
Okay. You do?
No, I don't, for a second.
Sidney
That's why I
Crosby.
think Chicago Blackhawks win this draft. But because I think Kane's leaving and they need a thing in a major TV market. But I want to give some assurances to Coyotes fans that even with winning the lottery 4 times in 6 years, that team went absolutely freaking nowhere and did absolutely nothing with those players.
Yeah.
Nail Yakupov. Who?
Exactly. Nail Yakupov.
I mean,
but that's a different issue.
Taylor
right?
Hall.
Like,
I'm just saying they've drafted
but
poorly.
even, like-
yes. And so you can sit there and have some kind of faith that Logan Cooley, as we talked to draft prospect expert Corey Pronman, and he said if they redrafted tomorrow, there's a very good chance that Logan Cooley is number 1, even though the Coyotes picked 3rd. So just have some faith in this organization that even if the balls don't fall the right way, I'll let that sink in for a second. That we can still have hope for the Coyotes and what they're doing with their development and their draft.
I was going to say, like, the one year Florida, the Rangers jumped up and they won the Lafreniere one. And in this first round playoff series, 0 goals, 0 assists, 0 points. And again, like, we're not comparing Lafreniere to Bedard because we all know this is the same level as the 2015 draft in terms of what you would get by winning the first pick, whereas in past years there's maybe who's first, who's not. Last year was a perfect example of that. But we've talking to Corey Pronman, seeing, kind of reading about this year's draft, like this in other years, number 2, number 3, number 4, like those would be top picks in other years, if not for this generational talent. I want to give a shout out to Joe on Twitter because he sent you this.
Joe Ducko. Thank you, Joe.
Yes.
Told you we'd be doing this. You thought I was writing about it.
No, Joe, this is on the show. Did some math, some amazing math that was very complex to me, and I'm taking your word for it.
Yeah, because none of us understand it.
This was last year in 2022. So the chances of the Coyotes winning at least one lottery drawing in their history, 82.6%, which means that
that's a lot.
That means that not moving up is only a 17.5% chance. So they're in the minority. Like,
they're due. Overwhelming.
They're due.
It's not 51-49, Leah.
You have a higher percentage chance of picking first overall by finishing last with 18.5 than you do with not moving up at all. Like, what the heck?
How does that happen?
I don't know. I really don't know. And listen, I know we were joking about things being fixed. There are a few instances, like when really the Blackhawks in a year when they need Patrick Kane's available, they jump up from the last spot possible to get him. Sidney Crosby happens to go to the Penguins when they're getting a new arena built, hopefully, and going through bankruptcy and possible relocation, trying to save the team in the market. You wonder about some of those. And then there are the times when a Canadian team has a chance, not named Vancouver, because Vancouver's lottery luck sucks, but when Toronto ends up with the worst overall record, nobody moves. No. Austin Matthews is going to Toronto.
Went to the biggest market in the NHL?
Yeah. Or Connor McDavid is going to Edmonton, or last year, the Montreal Canadiens get the first overall pick.
And they didn't
It's funny
move?
how it happens with these big market teams. I don't know.
So we need a
Just
mascot to
wonder.
break all that shit down.
But however,
Where's
if you
Jesse?
talk about Pittsburgh and they were fighting relocation rumors, they needed a new arena. Gary Bettman's been here speaking at Tempe Wins conferences.
I like what you're. I didn't even put that
I'm
together.
not claiming that there's anything rigged
Some
or
similarities?
cheating, but I'm just saying.
Huh.
I mean, it's
Some
a pretty good
similarities.
way to ensure the stability of a franchise.
Yeah,
isn't it?
and everybody has said for again and again, the NHL is like the main reason the Coyotes are here. Like the league wants them here. Gary Bettman, Bill Daly, they want the team here. Gary Bettman and Bill Daly, if you want to kind of like ensure that, like lock the door and throw away the key, then let the Coyotes move up to
Sure.
1 or 2 in this draft lottery.
Yeah, if you want to throw people off the set, make it number 2, give them Adam Fantilli. We're cool with that. That's fine.
What a
That'll work.
consolation.
I mean, if you are going to let expansion teams play in the Western Conference Final this year, why the hell not? Why the hell not do this? I mean, why not reward a team like the Coyotes that needs the kind of stability?
I agree, but I also agree with David. Somehow Edmonton's going to win again. I don't know how. They're in the playoffs and they're not even eligible for it. Somehow Edmonton's going to get the first pick.
You didn't read the fine print, did you?
I know,
There's
and
that
that's how I feel
Edmonton
about it.
clause
That's how I feel about it.
in the lottery. Yeah,
Roaring Fork said Vancouver's getting Bedard, Arizona's getting Fantilli. Book it.
that scares me. Like Vancouver, like they've had lousy lottery luck too.
Yeah.
They could jump up and get him. Columbus has had really bad. Aaron Porcelain wrote a great story, like talked to mathematicians all over the city, like school teachers, and did a great story on Columbus's really shitty lottery history.
Yeah.
They're in the second worst spot. So
If
Maybe.
anyone in the top 3 is going to win, I want it to be Columbus.
me too.
I want
me
to
too.
see.
Like, don't want Anaheim winning it.
No.
I don't want to see him play with
Zegras
Trevor
and
Zegras.
Bedard?
Yeah,
I don't want Anaheim, but what if it's between Anaheim and Chicago? I'm sure Anaheim.
I'll go with the Ducks.
Yeah,
This
Yeah,
is
I
crazy.
don't
I'm a
want him to go to
Blackhawk fan,
Chicago.
right? But
I know.
see what's happened?
you're so
But
jaded now.
I
I guess,
am
but
jaded.
it's not that I wouldn't mind seeing Connor Bedard play in Chicago. It might even be good for hockey.
Probably would.
I just don't think it's fair. That's my problem. Chicago had their chance. They had Kane and Taves. They
Won
had
3
it.
cups. 3 cups.
Right. So they had that.
Oh, as soon as they move out, get the next guy in. Would
And then
that
they
be
bring him
wild?
back.
That would
It would be wild. Tinfoil hat.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
wonder if I should wear a tinfoil hat on Monday. I might.
We should all wear tinfoil hats. That's a good idea,
so down,
actually.
I'll wear
Let's do
tinfoil hat
that.
on Monday.
We're actually doing it. I'm
Yeah.
dead. We need to.
Like, what is the movie? Signs? Have you
Yeah,
seen it? Yeah, yeah.
Of course.
That's
Did you
awesome.
see Signs?
I don't know.
He's
What
like,
that is.
Mel Gibson? No.
No?
Joaquin Phoenix?
M. Night Shyamalan?
M. Night Shyamalan, Aliens.
Great
Well,
movie.
it was the water.
Great,
It was
great
give
movie.
away the ending. It was the water.
Can you imagine? And Bees kind of said it. Can you imagine how pissed every other NHL team will be?
If
Can
Chicago
you
wins it?
No. I don't know if you're talking about Chicago Bees, but I was just thinking if Arizona wins the draft lottery and then the vote goes through the next week,
These are Sean DePaz vibes
the,
right there.
the
This is
national
what Sean
media,
has been saying all along.
the hockey world would simply implode.
Yes.
We would have to turn
Oh my
off
gosh,
Twitter
so-
notifications.
I mean, if you've been paying attention to international hockey over the last decade, it clearly has started to shift away from Canada being like the dominant force in it. So it just seems natural that we're just going to
It's
keep
aggressive.
sliding more and
Blasphemy.
more towards Canadian hockey being pissed off, and this would be the perfect cherry on the top. Right before, well, I guess this would be the sprinkles or the whipped cream right before the cherry of Seattle Kraken.
Let's throw one
Vegas
other thing
Golden
right
Knight
in the
final.
midst of that. You've
Conference
got
final.
the Coyotes jumping up and winning the lottery. You've got let's go even worse than Seattle. Like Seattle's too close to Canada. Let's go with a Dallas Vegas Western Conference final and a Carolina Florida Eastern Conference final.
Oh.
Everything in the South.
Farther south.
And then the vote goes through.
Yeah, I'm about it. I'm all
Burn
about
it down.
Yep.
Love it.
I'm
Yep.
all about it.
Absolutely.
Tim knows. If you know, you know.
Roaring Fork asked where Bedard's from. North Vancouver. So talking about Vancouver, the Vancouver connection. Listen, at this point, I think we'd be thrilled with number 2.
Oh, yeah. No
Like,
question.
we want Fantilli.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fine. Great. Good.
We want it.
It would be number 2 in this draft is a win. Number 2 in this draft is a number 1 in any other draft over the last decade. Well, nearly almost.
Yeah.
Almost every draft in the last decade. But he is a legit number 1. He is bigger than we talked about Lafreniere. There's so many drafts where this guy's fantastic. And to be honest, Bedard's Bedard. But Fantilli might be more of a Bill Armstrong player.
Yeah.
With the size at the middle.
And when you look at their roster construction, too, like with some of the players that they have, you're going to need some size in that top 6.
I think it fits. I think Fantilli fits on that team. I like the size up the middle. If you're going to play Cooley up the middle, I think so. Let's will that into fruition.
Adam Fantilli
at number 2.
I like this from David. Dallas, Florida, Stanley Cup final.
Can you imagine? And honestly, we're not that far from it.
No,
We're not.
Like
it's in the realm of possibility.
Yes.
I would love that.
Unfortunately, any team can win. Are we talking playoffs later?
Yeah, we can mention playoffs later. Oh, man. Well,
it's like I had to ask my mom for permission. Like, can we talk about the playoffs later? The teacher, please.
Well, you always on the show, you're like, can I say something? I'm like, yeah, you're one of the 3 people talking on the show.
But I don't. You drive it. Like, you get us from takeoff to landing.
Yeah. All right. Well,
You are the
May 8th
pilot.
is circled on the calendar. May 16th is circled on the calendar. And you should all circle May 26th because it is our Keeping It 100 golf tournament at Dobson Ranch. This will hopefully be, we'll be riding a high of winning the lottery, of the vote going through, and then we're out there at the Keeping It 100 golf tournament. I can't wait for this. Free pins and aces and PHNX collaboration polo with a sign up. There's going to be games and prizes. Pins and Aces is the official golf apparel partner of ALLCITY and PHNX, and we'll all be rocking Pins and Aces out there at Dobson Ranch on May 26th. So you have enough time to get your order in. Check out pinsandaces.com and use code PHNX to receive 15% off your first order and get free shipping. That's pinsandaces.com, and grab your tickets in the link to get your to the Keeping It 100 golf tournament.
If the Coyotes win the draft lottery, I will actually dust off my sticks and I will play.
Ooh.
Otherwise, I'll just sit in a golf cart and drink. I'll still be there, but I will play if the Coyotes
Everybody
1 or 2 in the
write
draft
down
lottery.
the time code of this so we can
I
pull
will
that
dust
back
off
up.
my left-handed sticks and I will play. I won't
Alright.
be good, but I'll play.
I want to drive the beverage cart.
And if not, Craig and I will be driving the grumpy old men beverage cart.
Love it. Love
Right?
it. We hope to see you
Lots
out
of
there.
sunscreen, shady. We'll have a fan, a mister. We will. It'll be awful. We're going to be horrific at that.
Oh, man.
Like a water?
Yeah.
Well, the weather...
No. No beer for you. I saw you drank a
No,
beer.
we'll
You
be-
need to
we'll be
hydrate
the
now
beer
before you
police.
get your next beer.
We'll be the beer police.
Oh, man.
No,
well,
that's enough.
the weather today is actually beautiful.
It is. It's
phenomenal.
Perfect
Amazing
day to
coming in.
sit out on a patio, if I had to say so myself. And I'd highly recommend the patio at Illegal Pete's. Right on
across the
the
street from...
where the draft party is.
Yeah, so if you can't get into the draft party, you get to hang out.
Totally.
At
And there's TVs at their bar
And
there.
you can eat. They have a
So-
queso.
They have queso.
And if you're in
They have those
Tucson, I
bowls.
know we have Tucson listeners. There's an Illegal Pete's on University as
Yes.
well. So stop
Is that
in.
upstairs? Is
Yeah,
that
there's an upstairs.
Yep.
So there's a downstairs patio and an upstairs patio.
Oh.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm a kid. I
So
didn't know.
stop in either the Tucson or Tempe locations for a house beer bucket for you and the whole crew. 5 pints for $15. Are you kidding me? Soak up the sun with a loaded burrito and crisp beer on the patio. Legal Pete's, your go-to spot for burritos, buddies, and beer. Also margaritas, also queso. Just check them out.
I'm getting
It's amazing.
hungry.
By the way,
Literally
I don't
hungry
think
now.
he's watching because he would comment, but Alltex is coming to Arizona next week.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Nice.
Headed to Four Peaks, headed to Legal Pete's. So
Wow. He's going to check out all the landmarks. It's kind of like the PHNX tour. We should actually start that, Craig.
sponsored by Circle K.
We should get a van.
They'll
We should
supply the
van and do a
gas.
PHNX tour of all, like they do those haunted tours of all the haunted houses. Me and you and I could do a PHNX. That's a great idea. On it.
The grumpy old men
Yes.
van tour.
Yeah, we can argue at the front. One of us will drive and we'll complain about the other guys driving on the whole tour. Stop at Circle K, get gas and a Polar Pop.
Love it.
Yep. And
All right. Well, we've talked about some of the luck or lack of luck for various teams, but before we talk about the rules of this year's lottery, let's take a look at the last 10 years of lottery results. Obviously, Montreal drafted Slafkovsky last year. Buffalo, Owen Power, Calder finalists. We'll get to the Calder finalists a little later. I already mentioned Lafreniere, Jack Hughes, Darlene, Heischer, Matthews, McDavid, Ekblad. Heard of them? That's because they're all everyday NHL players.
1 year before is Nathan McKinnon. Which of these guys is a Coyote? Yeah.
There's
Austin
crickets
Matthews.
There. There are
Austin
crickets.
Matthews, future
There are
Coyote.
crickets there.
I mean, according to Bill Armstrong's burner, Connor McDavid as well.
That was
Wow, did you see
hilarious
that lineup?
tweet. That
Saw
was
that lineup.
great.
Buddy,
Josh
that
and
lineup was-
Shane Doan flanking the fourth line.
But you look at this list, okay, in the last 10 years. Toronto, Buffalo, Montreal are the only ones, who have
three times in 10 years.
have been the
Three
number
times.
one seed to get the number one
four
pick.
times because Buffalo did it
So
twice.
that's hope for the Coyotes, maybe.
Yeah, no, it's
Getting
often,
last doesn't guarantee.
No,
It only
unless
guarantees
you're a
top three.
Canadian team.
Yeah.
Then it guarantees.
Buffalo's been last
And
4
Buffalo's
times in the last
basically
10
in
years.
Canada. Sorry.
Craig,
Sorry,
Yes,
Sean.
they have. They most certainly have.
Buffalo's last 4 of the last 10 years.
Yep.
That sucks. Like, that's bad.
You know who that really sucks for? People who watch the Buffalo Sabres.
Wow, that's bad. I didn't realize until you put it on paper and you realize Buffalo was last 4 of the last 10 years.
Longest
That's 40% of the time they
playoff
were the
drought.
worst team in hockey. That sucks.
Yeah, it
You're
does.
bad.
Yep, they are. Yep, we
I
are.
will, and Vaguely Sober
Sorry.
actually does point this out, and we were 1 year off from it, but none of those dudes has a cup, which is true because rebuilds take time. And you mentioned the year before that we're not seeing is a Colorado year. They just got their cup. So if you look at the timeline
They do say it takes about 11 years.
and look at those teams, Ekblad, McDavid, Matthews,
Stamkos, 11
Heischer,
years.
what do all 4 of the 2014,
All alive.
2015, 16, and 17 picks have in common? They're all in the playoffs still.
Well, and I would say I argue that Slafkovsky is the only
Jack
one that
Hughes is
wasn't
alive,
even
too.
close to the playoffs. Like
Yeah.
Even the Buffalo guys made.
But again, it's
Jack
treated,
Hughes still alive,
and that's
too.
where you
Yeah.
talk about it's a 10 to 11 year cycle.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure with Stamkos, it was 11 years from his draft year to the cup, I think. So if I'm wrong, Google it and sue me. Get a lawyer.
But you mentioned,
Takes
Craig,
time.
that the rules have changed over the last few years. It's really confusing to me. 2022 was the most recent rule change. So can you kind of describe, I
I
guess,
have it in front of me. But
what the rules are?
basically, you can't move up 10 spots. Is one of the key takeaways from that. The Edmonton rule was instituted the year before, where you can't win it.
Multiple years.
Yeah. But there's 2 lotteries, as you know now. Though there's 2 drawings, and I still don't understand that math. So I'm going to stay out of.
You're not
I'm gonna
looking
stay
at
out of
2 math experts
But
here.
I like the idea that more teams can be in play for it. I still don't like the odds of the top teams. I think it should be weighted a little more
I
for
think so,
those
too.
teams.
Can I ask you a question?
And I don't
And
think a team should
And you might
have
not
the
know the
greatest
answer.
percentage odds of moving down. That's
yeah,
stupid.
that's bullshit.
That's stupid.
You might not know the answer, but I'm asking it anyway. So the Coyotes are 6th to last
Yep.
right now, correct?
Yep.
The best they can do is first.
Yep.
They can jump into first. They can jump into second.
Yep.
Or they could be 6, 7, or 8.
They could
They
they have
could
a
be
point
third.
to.
Could
We
they get in
actually
third?
have the
yeah.
the
Yeah,
odds here.
Tankathon has all the odds. The third is a weird scenario. If Ottawa jumps into number 2 and the Coyotes were, that's what would bump them to 3. So there's a tiny percentage chance of that happening. They're not
like a
getting-
tiny, like 0.02%.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's not happening.
So, but they're okay.
But
they're-
first and second can happen. But
first
their
and second,
greatest percentage chances are, as you can see, not there. 7th, 6th, and
Seventh.
8th.
I just think it's bullshit
Seventh.
that they have a higher chance of picking 7th and 6th. They finished 6th last. They should have the best percentage of picking 6th
However, you
last.
have to tinker with this to make that happen. Yes,
I
that
don't
is what it should be.
understand.
so again, their highest percentage is to be worse.
Yeah.
So prepare for that, Coyotes fans.
And
just
it's
because.
happened. It's happened.
Oh,
a
every
lot.
time. Well,
Yeah.
not every time.
I mean, I think most
Sometimes they
drop
time.
two
most
spots.
Coyotes fans are bracing for
Oh my
that.
God,
dropped 2
they
spots
dropped
with
2
Barrett
spots?
Hayton. They
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
They have about a very similar chance of dropping to 9 as they do as jumping to 1. 9.1% to pick 9th, 7.5 to pick first, 7.7 to pick second, 34.1 to pick 6th, which is where they finished, 41.4 to pick 7th. Blech.
So
These odds
73%, almost 3 and
stupid.
4 chance to pick 6th or 7th. 3 and 4 chances to pick 6th or 7th. Most likely to be 6th or 7th. So prepare for it emotionally. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Yeah. Look at. Can you read, since I can't read them,
Yes.
Ottawa's odds as well? Now, Ottawa cannot jump into the number 1 spot because they're 12. You can only move up 10 spots. So they can only move up to 2 or 3. That pick that they got from them is top 5 protected. They also can't move into 4 or 5. So it's 2 spots. What's the percentage chance of that?
They can they have a 5.1% chance of picking second.
And third?
0.1.
There it is. So
It says here there's a 0.1 for picking fourth.
there is.
Yeah, according to Tankathon.
Okay.
But
I don't know what those scenarios are.
But 85.7% to
Just say
pick 12. 8.9 to pick 13, which is probably what's going to happen because if the
Anybody
Coyotes
moves up.
Yeah, like if the Coyotes move up, then somehow Ottawa's going to drop back because that'll just be their luck.
Anybody moves up behind Ottawa, right? That's
Yeah.
how that happens, which is not a great percent chance of happening. But
It's a lot
where's
of math.
Vancouver?
It's a lot of math.
Where's Vancouver?
Vancouver has a 3% chance of picking first, 3.2 of picking second, but their highest odds are 79.9 to pick 11th.
Okay.
Guess what? Anaheim's got a 100% chance of picking in the top 3.
Yeah.
Because guess what? They're last. And that's the plan. God damn it. Why didn't they figure this out? Anaheim is guaranteed 100%. There is no hemming or hawing. There is no who cares what the lottery balls are. 100% chance of picking one of the premier talents in a decade.
And that's a team that a lot of people thought was going to take a step this year.
Yes. I did.
And maybe contend for the playoffs.
I did too. Drysdale, Fowler on the back end. Gibson can win games. And they had Terry, Zegras. They had guys up front that could play. But guess what? They have a 100% chance of picking up a generational talent.
How does Columbus have the second worst odds and then they have the best chance of picking fourth? I hate this.
Yep.
But again, just don't look at the math. And the other
Chicago's picking in the top 5.
The other thing that bothers me about how they do this is we've talked about this for 12 months at least. We've talked about this for a year.
Probably since last
Right,
lottery.
since the last one. We've talked about the lottery again. And once this process starts, there'll be a lot of hoopla and bells and whistles. And when Bill Daly gets up in front of the crowd, he did it last year, when he gets up in front of the crowd and he starts talking, this thing rolls down a hill fast.
Yeah.
Like you barely have time to understand what the hell's going on.
Last year, Sean was trying to update a graphic
Couldn't do
live, and we're like, no, just
I put
it.
so much work into those graphics,
Yeah, but
and
you
it was
couldn't do
a
it.
complete waste of time.
It went so fast, and they open the envelope, and then they open another envelope. It's so hard to keep up emotionally and mentally of what is happening. By the time somebody's gold logo comes up, you don't really get it. It's just bizarre. I wish they could
We're
stop,
drinking
take
on
a
that
beat.
show, right?
Oh, hundo. 100%. I'm getting
Maybe Palm and OGs out of it.
If you could create a perfect lottery, what would it look like?
The Coyotes winning it every time.
Well, there's that. But for how many teams would you allow to move up? I'm not sure I would allow 10 spots. I think I might limit it a little more than that, like 7.
5.
Yeah, 5 or 7.
Okay.
Yeah. I think 10's too many, but the point of the lottery is to limit tanking.
Yes.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
I would say this. I don't understand the point of having a lottery if in a year like this, you're the Anaheim Ducks. The lottery doesn't really discourage you from tanking.
Nope, it doesn't. That's true.
You're almost guaranteed to get Fantilli or Bedard.
I guess you can't predict though, every year.
Yeah,
how many,
yeah. Last
Craig,
year it would have been a little different.
Do you make
yeah.
Right.
do you make last, second to last, and third to last all the same percentage? That is equal.
Might.
And then
that's not a bad thought.
fourth, fifth, sixth is the next tier, and they're all the same. So if you're gonna get 6, you must get 4, and then 7 and 8 and 9, and that's it. And it's 9 teams.
That's not a bad thought, actually, because what's the difference? Although, you get a year like Detroit when they were abjectly bad and fell, what was it, 3 spots? Did they fall?
Yeah.
That's insane. If you have a gap, I don't know. I don't know if there should be a provision if you finish more than 10 points behind the next closest team. Should your odds be better? I don't know how you work that, but
I think that's hard because then it gives the tanking. But I think if you do it in tiers of teams 3, 1, 2, 3, your odds are exactly the same.
Yeah, I don't mind that idea
And
at
then,
all.
but you can only drop 2 spots. So if you're last, you can drop 2. If you're second, you can drop 4th. Third, you can drop 5th. But your percentages of winning the lottery are all the same. And then 4, 5, 6, your percentages are all the same. All
That's
the same. You're
interesting.
equal.
That's interesting.
And then 7, 8, 9. But I don't think 7, 8, and 9 should be able to pick first. I think 7, 8, and 9 can get second.
Okay.
I like it.
I like
And then
that.
they're all the same odds, though. So 9th to worst, 8th to worst, 7th, all the same, but you can only move up to second. And then nobody else is in the lottery. You pick where you pick. So if you're 10th worst, you're picking 10th, period.
I like
can't
it.
move
So so if you're 10 or
10
worse,
to 16, you're picking
no,
10
you're,
to 16.
you're too
That's
close
it.
to the playoffs. No,
Yep.
you don't get a chance to
10 to
move up.
16, you pick 10 to 16.
I like this.
The only teams
I
that
like
can
all
move
that.
up, and 9, 8, 7 can only pick second because you're getting to that point where you're closer. So the only teams that can pick first overall are 1 to 6.
This might be an unpopular opinion. I like the idea of teams that of anybody being able to move up into the first overall pick, because I think that really discourages tanking. And I think it's obviously, I'm a little biased in this situation, but I love the idea of a team like the Sabres, or I mean even the Penguins, who are at right on the precipice of making the playoffs, being able to be launched into contender status.
See, I think conversely, I think it gives more parity, because now the worst teams of the bunch have a freaking chance. If they don't ever win the lottery, there's never. Buffalo's won it.
Yeah.
What, twice? Two
I
or three
also,
times. Like,
as a hockey fan, love the idea of like Sidney Crosby, who's on the end of his career, having one more chance because Connor Bedard just put on that team.
Here's my point. If your team sucks and you don't have an opportunity to win the lottery, your team's still going to suck. And Pittsburgh has won cups because they had draft lottery luck at some point. I don't want to reward those teams that are so close to still being there or on their way out, like Washington, like Pittsburgh. I don't want to reward them. Otherwise, teams like Columbus, Anaheim, Arizona, Buffalo, you're always stuck in this shitstorm of last.
Especially a team like Arizona that doesn't have what the Rangers have, that the Leafs have. Like
Money?
this,
Well, we could go out and get Artemi Panarin. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, like
Right? Yeah.
you need to give your small market teams a chance to succeed. And if you want to grow the game and have hockey thrive in non-normal markets, I guess you can say, then you need to help them. And that's what the lottery does. And that's what pisses me off about Edmonton winning and Toronto winning and all this stuff, because Arizona, like, for all the league says, oh, hockey belongs here, we want to, like, they've done. And I know, unless you have your tinfoil hat on, I know they're not like rigging the lottery, but if they are, you better consider helping this team, because like winning sells tickets. It just does. And this team can't win unless they have some lottery luck.
Can I just say, I just think they should just rig it and be more transparent about it. I don't have a problem with the league acting in their self-interest and trying to make the game better. Like, I honestly don't have a problem when you look at the situation and being like, like, not necessarily choosing who gets the first overall pick, but like, there's everyone, whether they want to admit it or not, would benefit from the Arizona Coyotes having a chance to get Connor Bedard. Not guaranteeing it, but at least having a significant chance, just because that's the landscape of the league.
We don't even see the balls and all that stuff. We just see the cards, though. But it'd be funny if Bill Daly, like, you know, after he pulled out a card, he like pulled out a cloth and wiped off his hands and looked.
And also, like, the Coyotes should be rewarded for not tanking.
Yeah.
Like, obviously they wanted to, but they should be rewarded for not tanking.
Yeah, it's an adorable belief on our part, isn't it? Yeah, to think that matters.
Yeah, it's kind of like the NBA All-Star game, where the commissioner can just be like, hey, these two players are about to retire, they deserve to be in the All-Star game. Like, yes, the Ducks should have the best odds, but let's boost up the Coyotes' odds a little bit, because it'd be good
back
for the
to your point. One of the primary missions of the draft is to help the bad teams get better. So if we're allowing too many of those bubble teams into the mix, you're not accomplishing the ultimate goal.
That's what SZ said. Even as a Pens fan, I agree with that. The lottery changes teams. Other teams deserve the chance to experience that. Thank you. All right. Before we move off this topic, predictions.
Oh my God.
They won't pick first. I guess the pessimistic PD comes out here. I just don't see it. I'm hopeful for second, because I really think that's enough. The hockey gods can just tweak it a little bit and give them 2. I think everybody here would be thrilled. Second is what I'd like to see. I still think they'll pick in their original 6th.
I think that they deserve to not slide back this year. But I don't think they're going up either. I think they're sticking at 6.
Adam Fantilli will be a Coyote. 2.
Sean?
I know no one's going to like the sound of this. I think it would be the most Arizona Coyotes thing of all time for them to move up to the 3rd overall draft pick. So I think what's going to happen. They're going to move all the way up.
It's like
going
the least likely thing ever.
You know what has to happen for that to happen, right?
No.
Ottawa has to jump to 2. That means they don't get Ottawa's pick.
That would be the most Coyotes thing of all time. Ottawa somehow drops.
Yeah, they get Ottawa's.
Ottawa somehow jumps to 2. Coyotes go to 3rd, so they defy all odds, finally move up in the draft, and still somehow get screwed.
And screw themselves.
That would be the most Coyotes thing of all time.
That's what's going to happen.
That is the Coyotes' way.
Holy shit.
So who do they take at 3? Is it Leo Carlson? Is it...
Jacob
Matvey
Chikrin
Michkov.
and Adam Fantilli.
Will
You
Smith?
are
Will
Ottawa
Smith?
Senators.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Oy.
To be determined.
Should we?
Doesn't matter because Adam Fantilli's going to be a Coyote.
Should
Fantilli
we?
lace in a pretty face.
Fantilli,
Do you know that song?
Cooley. Hey, I do.
Craig? Yeah.
Hayton
Chantilly.
McCain.
Lace
Yes.
in a pretty face.
Fantilli,
Do we get sued for that
Cooley,
if we sing it?
Hayton,
If
McBain,
we sing it really good?
Connor Geeky. Take your time. That's what's happening. That's your center depth chart for the next decade.
All right. Well, on all of our post-game shows, we were running tankathon simulations. The Coyotes did not move up a single time. They either stuck or moved down. And we are going to do rapid fire right now. We're going to run 10 simulations. We're going to create the situation because out of 10, if they win one, that's great because they have a 7.5% chance. So a little less than 1 out of 10.
So that's what we're doing now.
We're going to do it right now. We're going to run 10 back-to-back. And let's
So this
start.
is great for an audio bit.
I will talk through it. So let's do number 1. Press it.
Yeah.
Coyotes move down to 7. Montreal jumps up 4 to win the draft. Detroit jumps up 7
Anaheim
to get
drops to 3.
second, and Anaheim drops to 3. All right, run it again.
Run it again.
That's
Let's
an awful
go.
one.
Arizona drops to 8. Philadelphia jumps up 6 to first.
Philadelphia's another team that's got some
Vancouver
luck.
jumps up 9 to second. Anaheim drops to 3.
Get that one out of
Oh,
here.
yeah,
Next.
get that one off the screen. Number 3. All right, Arizona.
6.
Yeah, you can't even see. Stays at 6. Montreal jumps up 4
Again.
to first. San Jose jumps up 2 to second. And Anaheim drops to 3. Anaheim dropping a 3 on all of these. Okay, number 4. Let's go.
Number 4. Washington again.
Arizona
7.
down to 7. Washington moves up 7 spots to second. Columbus sticks at 2. Anaheim drops to 3.
Number 5.
Can I just say real quick? Washington moving up, obviously not. That would give the Coyotes a significantly better chance of getting Michkov, right?
No, because they're going to take Bedard.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It would give the Coyotes a better chance of getting Michkov because you don't have to worry about the Capitals
Fair enough.
Yeah, fair.
taking him
Okay.
with the whole.
All right, what are we on? 5?
Yep.
Okay. Number 5, roll it.
Philadelphia again, twice. Arizona at
jumps
7.
6 to 1. Columbus 6
They
at 2.
they haven't moved up
Anaheim 3.
from 6th. So they've been
Coyotes
in 7,
dropped
6,
to
or 8.
So
7.
this, how many times have we done this? 9?
Is this 3 7s, 1 6, and 1 6 and 1 8?
Yes.
Is that what we've got so far?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, roll it.
Hey, Coyotes second.
Coyotes second. Let's
Yahtzee.
go.
Fantilli.
Columbus
Fantilli,
1,
you are.
Arizona
Arizona 2.
second. This is ideal.
Perfect. Anaheim 3,
Anaheim
Chicago
3.
4.
That's
This is
perfect.
It.
This is
That's
it.
the draft.
Stop.
Actually, switch San Jose and Chicago, and I'll be happier.
Yeah, I don't know if we do we press our luck.
I
This is
don't
like
know. I
that
feel like
game
we
show.
should
Do we just
stop.
stop? Should we stop? Press our luck.
Do we stop or do we
Yeah,
keep going?
deal or no deal?
What was
Wait,
that?
what does the
6?
chat say? What does the chat say? Should we
Do we
deal
keep
or no?
going,
Do
or
we
should we
stop at
stop?
Do we
Fantilli?
keep going
Oh,
or stop?
everyone's saying make it stop. Make it stop. Actually, just Tim is saying that.
He's the only one listening
I'm
still.
sick to my ass watching. Let's see. Oh, I will turn this car around, said Vaguely Sober. I'm dead. Oh,
Are we stopping here?
we
Is that
should
what you're
stop.
telling
we're
us?
We
stopping
should
there.
stop.
We
We're
are
stopped there with
stopping.
Fantilli. Chicago dropping to 4th. That's an ideal
There it
draft.
is. Adam Fantilli, you're a Coyote.
You're
We're
an
going to leave it.
Arizona
We're going to
Coyote.
screenshot it. And you
Who's
know what,
who's
Connor
the guy on
Bedard?
Twitter? Why am I blanking on this that says pack your shit? Is it Commodore?
Yeah.
Adam Fantilli, pack your shit. You're coming to the valley.
Let's go.
Get in your car.
And
stop
are you
at
okay?
a Circle K.
I'm okay with Bedard going to Columbus.
Oh, me too.
This is all
that
good.
was ideal.
And we're at Ottawa.
We're
end up?
done.
12th. Good. Done.
Done.
Book
Sign
it.
us up.
Book it. Screenshot it. Book it.
Holy shit.
And
All right.
when you're driving on your way, stop. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
At Circle K.
Get in your car, stop at Circle K out of Fantilli as you drive your car down to Arizona because you will find them all along your way because Circle Ks are everywhere. And when you're stopping at Circle K, make sure to go inside, grab yourself some snacks, and make sure you get a Polar Pop.
They're colder than anything.
They're,
Do you know that's the coldest
especially
drink?
in the summer, especially in Arizona in July or August. Make
Polar
sure you go get a Polar Pop. And right now we have a text to win promotion. Text PHNX to 31310 to join their SMS subscriber club and get a buy one get one free offer on a 32-ounce Polar Pop. You can head to circlek.com/store-locator to find Circle K's near you. And I should mention, if you're in Arizona and you're pumping your gas at a Circle K, you know when it starts auto playing those videos and you kind of go, ugh, just pay attention.
Yes.
That's all I'll say. All right. Well, we talked about possibly drinking on Monday's show. Possibly also another route you can go is taking an OGs for
Yep.
the draft lottery. And for that, I would highly recommend if you're 21 or older. OGs, they can help us. They should be the official. The OG Psy counter will be out on Monday. 100%. Man, we're going to need it. OGs, they help us out all the time. Their flavors are also delicious. So make sure you stop by your local dispensary. You can get the Aquaberry Sleep Edition gummy. You can get the strawberries and cream, orange creamsicle. They also have microdose gummies, which is a great way to do it also. So you can find OGs at your local dispensary at ogsbrands.com. Again, you must be 21 or older to enjoy. Okay. We're done talking about the lottery for now.
Yeah. By the way, Adam, go back to Michigan for another year because we want to do this one more year. Get another high draft pick. Logan, you too. Go back to Minnesota.
Oh, yeah. Somebody asked earlier, Craig, can you give your daily update on Logan Cooley so everyone can relax?
Update. I know there are reports out there saying he's going back to Minnesota. That hasn't been decided.
Premature? Okay.
All right. Well, I know. I'm choosing to ignore it.
I just sprinkle it in.
I'm choosing to ignore it. Okay. Well, the biggest news of
Premature
yesterday,
speculation.
I guess.
That's a writer right there. That's really good.
Boy.
Sure.
All right. The biggest news of yesterday, the Calder candidates were officially announced, and Matias Maccelli was not a Calder candidate. Matty Beniers, no surprise. Owen Power and Stuart Skinner, the Calder finalists. I know Petey predicted that Matias Maccelli would not be a finalist. We weren't 100% sure, but I will give my thoughts in a second. How do you guys feel?
The top two I have no problem with. I agree with the top two. Stuart Skinner's overrated. He's just overrated. He's not that good a goaltender. He's just slightly above average.
Where does he play?
Yeah. Thank you. Canada. Yeah. And by the way, has Stuart Skinner been great in these playoffs?
No.
Has Stuart Skinner even been average in these playoffs?
The problem was Maccelli plays in Arizona. Sorry.
Yeah. And he missed 18 games.
Yep.
Let's be honest about that. Like, if he plays those games, I think he's got a much better chance. Because first of all,
I think he still
if he plays
snubbed.
those 18 games, he has the most points of any rookie.
Correct. And it's hard to
100%.
keep him out.
Yeah.
Still gets snubbed. I think the Arizona factor is
You think
so overwhelming.
if he played the 18 games, he's still getting snubbed?
Do you think he'd be a finalist?
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not, and yesterday I tweeted that he got snubbed. I'm not saying that he deserves to win the Calder. Like, I think
No,
we're
I don't
all
either.
on
I
the
think
same-
Matty Beniers.
I think Matty Beniers is running away
Yeah.
with it, and I
Yeah.
think that's fine.
Okay.
None of us are fighting that.
Yeah,
but,
if he leads points, he's a finalist.
Right.
but I just think the bias, the Canadian bias, the East Coast bias, the everything bias against Arizona.
Or simple lack of awareness.
Well, yeah, because people look at the Coyotes and they go, ugh, like, they don't care. And it's bullshit. Matias Maccelli had the second most points of any rookies this season with 49.
Most
he had
points per game.
the most assists with 38, the most points per game at 0.77 points per game. Like you said, if he'd played in those games, he was injured, he would have led rookies in points. And I don't know, I just think, like, he doesn't get the respect he deserves. The Coyotes don't get the respect they deserve. And what Matias Maccelli did this year, especially jumping from last year to this year, the growth that we've seen with him, what he did for this team, how he stepped up when players were injured, I think he should have been a nominee. I think if we looked at how everything shook out, he would have been maybe third on people's lists, and that's fair. But I think Matias Maccelli was snubbed of a nomination, and I think it's bullshit that he didn't get a nominee.
I think he should have been third on this list. And I'm going to say something that I probably shouldn't say, so I'll word it carefully. I got a lot of respect from my fellow writers in this industry, people that vote on these awards, but they don't comprise the entire votership of some of these awards. And I think some people put in more time than others to learning and really being thorough in their knowledge. And that's often a problem in these votes. But I do agree with you, Petey, too, that Arizona often gets overlooked. Again, if he had played 18 more games, he would have been in there. But Stuart Skinner is overrated. He wasn't that good. There was a long time where people were talking about Logan Thompson being in this mix. If he hadn't been injured, he might have been in this mix as well.
Yep.
You want to talk about a sheltered situation? He's playing behind the Vegas Golden Knights. He's an average goaltender. Sorry, no, he doesn't belong in this conversation.
Yep.
Like, I would have chosen other people before, like Wyatt Johnston. I probably would have chosen before Stuart Skinner. Matty Beniers is the guy who should win it, but Matias Maccelli should have been third on this list. And, you know, I'm going to be screaming this every year, just like last year when Andrew Ladd should have been like the runaway choice for the Masterton and wasn't even a fucking finalist because people don't pay attention.
Yeah.
Or they just, Carey Price came back for 5 games and sucked. Well, let's give it to him. Like, why? What would he do? Like, he could prove that he could still put on his pads? Who cares? Andrew Ladd's story was so much more compelling, but Carey Price won because he's in Montreal.
And we'll find out on Tuesday, May 9th, who the Masterton nominees are. So don't get your hopes up. But we also think Clayton Keller should be a finalist.
It's a bigger name, so that he's got that
like people are
working
aware
for
of him, and he the All-Star recognition, and he's the face when they do all of the promos for the league and so forth. So there is a chance that he does not get penalized for being from Arizona.
He's one of the 3 best candidates, having gone through those. I don't know if you guys have, but he's one of the 3 best candidates.
We'll see.
We will see for sure. PD?
I
thoughts on the playoffs.
It's interesting, and it's chaos, and I feel bad for the television networks looking for ratings in the United States because of, we talked about New York, Boston, Colorado, and Tampa Bay all out of the playoffs. Having said that, this playoffs are unbelievable. The amount of 7-game series, the amount of individual talent that we've seen in this series.
4-goal individual losses.
Oh yeah, 4-goal back-to-back nights happened 3 times in the history of twice before this playoffs. It's happened twice,
but not back-to-back. Yeah, twice ever.
And it happens 2 times back-to-back. These playoffs are, you have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. We talked about Jersey. They got blown out 5-1. Guess what? They got blown out 5-1 twice in the last series, and they won the series.
Yep.
So hold on to your hats because you don't know what's going to happen tonight. Fantastic playoffs.
Yeah,
I will say this: Carolina Hurricanes look really good right now.
It's amazing with all the guys they have out.
Yep.
It's amazing.
They just smother teams and just put a fire blanket over them, and they're out.
They can run all the way to
We'll
it
see.
with all the guys they have out of the lineup. Wow,
We'll see.
That's a great story.
And honestly, it would not surprise me if any of the 8 teams that are still in it win the Stanley Cup. They're that evenly matched, and you don't know who's going to get the hot goaltender, the hot scorer. Literally, any of the 8 can win, and that's what's more fun than that? You have 8 teams left, and I don't know the NBA playoffs if you can say, oh, well, any of these 8 teams could win. Any of these 8 teams can win. Enjoy it. If you're not watching them,
we know
and
one
you haven't
can.
tuned it on yet.
Ouch.
I just had to let that bomb drop too. But just tune in because these are this is what hockey's about, and especially when you don't have rooting interest. So you're sitting on the edge of your street panicking. You can just relax and watch really good hockey.
Yeah, we're so blessed.
Enjoy the chaos.
We are so blessed. Aiden said, finally got to watch a live show. Appreciate all of your guys' work and coverage. Cannot wait to make fun of all the Canucks fans that are my teammates here in Vancouver when we win the lottery. Go Yotes. All right, Aiden. Manifest.
Yeah, I'm with you, Aiden.
Manifest.
Let's go.
On BetMGM tonight, Leafs are -200 favorites. Florida +165 on the money line. Stars are -210. Kraken +170. There is a bit of a pattern that when the home team loses game 1 to hammer the home team in game 2. So if you like that, you can do that. You can also do player props, which is also really fun. Pavelski has been on a heater.
I would parlay that. I would parlay that.
Yeah, parlay is a good way to do it.
I'd put parlay those 2 to win. And I'd also throw in anytime scorer Rupe Hintz because he was Pavelski kind of overshot his coverage in game 1. So I'm going Rupe Hintz as an anytime goal scorer. Put those 3 together and watch your odds increase.
All right. I love that. So if you want to do any of that on the BetMGM app, make sure to do so. You can sign up using the code PHNX. There's a few different offers depending on where you live, but for our Arizona audience, you'll get up to $100 in bonus bets on your first wager with BetMGM. Again, make sure you use that bonus code PHNX when you sign up. You can check out the show notes for full details. And now, listen to Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Disclaimer, 21 plus to wager. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in Washington, D.C., Mississippi, Nevada, New York, and Ontario. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369, New York. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, Arizona. 1-800-522-4700, Kansas, Nevada. 1-800-327-5050, Massachusetts. 1-800-BETS-OFF, Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help, Michigan.
All right, and we will actually be out at the BetMGM Sportsbook tomorrow for our live shows, so join us out there. We'll be there starting at 11, but the Knockout Night Cornhole Tournament begins tomorrow night. This will be the first Friday of every month from May to August, so join us out there. It starts at 7 o'clock. It's going to be a blast, and don't worry because BetMGM has Four Peaks on tap, so we'll be enjoying some Four Peaks probably on the show tomorrow as well.
At 11, they start serving at 11.
They do. So perfect timing for our show. We'll be enjoying some Four Peaks, and you can too. Like we said, the weather is phenomenal. Go enjoy some Four Peaks on a patio, on your patio, wherever you get your beer. And you can check out Four Peaks Brew or Four Peaks Pub on Instagram to keep up with the latest at Arizona's hometown brewery. With Teacher Appreciation Week coming up next week, you can thank a teacher and nominate them to win grants and Four Peaks swags and a grand prize of a custom makeover of their teacher's lounge at school. So you can go to fourpeaksforteachers.org to nominate a teacher or donate. You're going to drink Four Peaks. You got to be 21 or older. Please drink responsibly. Final thoughts?
Just a reminder, there's still 3 Coyotes prospects competing in the postseason. Jeremy Langlois and the Quebec Remparts made it to the QMJHL final. Don't know who they're going to play yet. Connor Geekie is also in the WHL final after Winnipeg swept last night. Dylan Gunther's in action, up 2-1 with Seattle. So those are the 3 guys. Could have 2 Coyotes in the Memorial Cup, which would be pretty cool.
Love it.
And I have something. And I just get 30 seconds to be serious about something. We've got someone in our PHNX family, Espo's wife Tracy, is going through some hard times right now. I've got a close friend and neighbor who's going through similar things today, and thoughts are with them. But everybody, and I mean everybody's got something going on. So here's what I want everybody to do. I challenge everybody listening to this on audio, if you're listening to it later, live, everybody here at the studio. I challenge everybody to reach out to someone today. I don't care if it's a family member, a brother, a sister, a neighbor, an uncle, an aunt, a high school teacher, somebody that affected your life at some point in your life, and just say hi. Hey, I was thinking about you today. What's going on? Just reach out to somebody, because those little things make a difference. I did it on the way to the studio today, and it makes a difference. So go make a difference to somebody today. It doesn't cost money. It doesn't take time out of your life. Call somebody and just say, hey, how you doing? And mean it. Thank you.
Love that. Great way to end it, Petey. Thank you for those words. And yeah, if you're going through a struggle, our thoughts are with you as well. Like we said, we'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. So we hope you'll join us. Be sure to subscribe if you're here and you haven't already. Be sure to hit the like button on this video if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're listening on audio, subscribe and leave us a review. I actually go and read them, and I appreciate, speaking of kind words, I appreciate those kind words as well. So we appreciate all of you. You can follow us on Twitter at @SPetersHockey, at Leah Merrill, at Craig S. Morgan, at Sean_DePaz. You can follow the show at PHNX_Coyotes. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday, everybody, and we'll see you live from BetMGM tomorrow.